Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is birthing pains. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. I wrote these a while back, and the world has completely changed since then. So if I encounter anything that is out of date, I will correct myself and give you the most recent information. At the end, I will summarize the topic based on what's going on in the world today. Also, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Birthing pains. Yesterday was very energetically interesting. I felt like I was high on caffeine without the jitters. The top of my head was very clear and open. It was like a continuous flow of creative energy. I kept wondering who was in my space, if it was a baby being or a woman who was pregnant. My husband kept saying he felt a profound change too, a deep transformation or a clearing out. Then our stovetop blew up, and so we went out to dinner during a windstorm, and when we got home, the power was out. I had a bit of battery left on my laptop to send a few emails, and as I was shutting it down, I saw the first Twitter notifications of the earthquake in Japan. Today, the news has been filled with a tsunami hitting around the Pacific, and my Facebook page is filled with postings to do with astrological predictions, Mayan calendar dates, and scientific reports. Quite a lot of excitement. One comment said, "Birthing pains for the new Earth," and reminded us to breathe. The birth process is a great analogy for what we're collectively going through. Birth just doesn't happen on a physical level. There's a spiritual and energetic experience at the same time. Physically, you have contractions, which aren't necessarily painful at first, but hurts like an SOB when the head's coming out. I had 2 home births without any medication. You definitely had to breathe through it. Energetically, it's very powerful as the being prepares to fully move into form. It's been there during the development of the fetus, but really moves in when the baby body comes out. The energy at a birth can be chaotic or euphoric or both. The earth has been having powerful contractions with major earthquakes and volcanoes of the past year. We're experiencing the chaos resulting from these events and may have missed the euphoria. Consciousness is moving more fully into form. Consciousness is the essence of who we are. All different bodies and personalities are the manifestation of consciousness. From consciousness's perspective, consciousness is integrating more into bodies. Our individual personality and body may experience it as our awareness is raising or we are waking up. As this is happening, anything that is not in integrity with consciousness is disintegrating and falling away. We are experiencing earthquakes in our personal life. Things we identified with and relied upon are disintegrating. Our careers, our investments, our relationships all seem to be falling apart. People who identify with these things are experiencing the most pain, and that which is dying is squawking the loudest. People and things who have been limiting other people's expansions are losing their power, as we're seeing in the Middle East. It's interesting to see the right-wing extreme in the US attempt to impose more limitations and restriction on basic rights. They may seem to be winning, but they cannot prevent the inevitable expansion any more than a woman in labor can cross her legs and stop her birth. With increased consciousness, there's increased responsibility. That does not mean taking responsibility for others, nor accepting blame for events. It means responding to rather than reacting. It means ownership of your own creations. You are not a child, and God is not the parent. You are a divine being, senior in your own space. It means taking responsibility for your inner power and the use of it. How do you get through birth pains? Breathe. Allow support. Spiritual midwives will show up in all sorts of guises, except because there's no going back when labor is started. When you're in agreement with the changes, the process gets easier for you. View it from a spiritual perspective, and you'll find yourself excited rather than fearful. Instead of trying to control the outcome, be curious about what possibilities await you. Step up and out of your personal story and drama, and beyond the news and gossip, and see the bigger picture. Open to the expansion, and you'll have a quick and joyful birth. Remember these suggestions of the next days and weeks, and you'll have a lot more fun with your transformation. And leave me a comment below because I love to read your comments. Well, one of the things I was reflecting on is I had both of my kids at home. I do remember that when labor really started after that initial period, a thought went through my head with each one of them was, I've changed my mind. And the thing is, there's no changing your mind. The birth is happening. I think it's natural for there to be a little bit of a freak out when the process starts, but when you're in agreement with the process, and as consciousness, you are in agreement. As consciousness, you are really excited about transformation and bringing in new things. So when you are in alignment with yourself as consciousness, it's a lot easier to get through. And I have to say, my first labor at home was 4.5 hours, and my second one was 55 minutes. I wasn't in too much resistance. And the other thing I'll say is I just had a conversation with my husband yesterday about this because we've been having this collective experience, and we were watching a near-death experience video where the woman was actually saying a lot of the things that I said, and I haven't consciously had a near-death experience. And then my husband, who doesn't do any of this stuff, but is a devout Tibetan Buddhist, been a Tibetan Buddhist for 45 years, and he said that he's experiencing this incredible transformation, lightness of being, and he used the phrase feeling like he was with a brand new slate, and the things that he'd been attached to or interested in before he has no interest in now. So it's so interesting to talk to him every morning. He gets up at 4:15 and he recites prayers in Sanskrit that he's memorized. And Sanskrit is a dead language. It's fascinating for me to see this with somebody who practices fairly ancient rituals, and yet consciousness is still coming in and creating these tremendous changes. When you're in acceptance of it, you're excited by it, then you can really enjoy the ride. So if you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends and on your social media. And please click the like button and subscribe, and that way you're telling YouTube to share it far and wide and get this out to people who really need to see this information. If you'd like a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the skybox technique. It'll give you an expanded perspective of your life. And if you'd like some manifestation techniques, I have a self-study course, Manifesting Money and Miracles, where you can go at your own pace and you can learn to embody specific vibrations that create internal change and miraculously bring more abundance to your life as well. And if you'd like to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. There you can learn about my individual sessions where I take a look at the essence of who you are and what's going on in your life today, and I can answer any questions you might have, and it's recorded just for you. And if you'd like to learn how to do this for yourself, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching special where I work with you one-on-one, and I give you specifically chosen consciousness techniques that I've developed so that you can transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.